Today is Sunday, June the 28th, and this light is horrible. Sunday, June the 28th, I am just heading into Disclosure Day. I have no idea what to expect. I haven't read any reviews on it. I've seen only a few trailers. I'm trying to go into it cold. What I will be looking for is points of synchronicity or confirmation of my preconceived ideas to see if what I think the truth, say that differently. I'll be looking to see if what I was told sorry, there's just this weird thing on my, I was going to see if what I was told is actually consistent with what's in the movie. So, short version again, Sunday, June 28th. It is around 12:30. I'm heading in to see Disclosure Day. And I will let you know what I think on the way out. Okay, I have left Disclosure Day. I'm going to pause, make sure it's recording properly, and then I will. Okay, I have just left Disclosure Day, which it doesn't feel like a movie to me. It feels like a magic spell that's supposed to wake people up. I'm going to record some of the points of synchronicity that I captured from the first viewing. The first time they see the good guy, I can't remember his name. Jesus. The guy that's trying to Coleman Domingo, I think his name is. I can't remember. He shows up and it says TM120. TM120 is Pokemon. It's code for psychic. TM120 in Pokemon is psychic. 1996. They talk about 1996 and the events in 1996, and then I have to remember that. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. That is not the events in 1996 that I have to remember. They also have the fox. The fox is there. The monastery at Lake St. Clair is the monastery in the movie is St. Clair, Lady of Light. And I am in the process of building a monastery on the shores of one of the things included with bringing back monasteries. That's the task that I've been given. That's a weird point of synchronicity. The process of activating, it feels very much like that. Now, for me, it wasn't a cardinal, and it wasn't all at once. But for me, the true activation was like in the movie Phenomenon, where I saw the light in the sky and boom, I can no longer pretend what I am, which is the movie ends with a command. The others are speaking, and we have to listen. And honestly, the only way that you really believe is if you hear it directly from them. I don't know. Well, I know that many people will never believe unless they see. But that movie was, again, the house in the woods that is obviously a cover for a vehicle of some sort. And I've just drawn that. I mean, the things that I have drawn recently, before I saw the movie, in my journals, I am still in 1991, and I have a long way to go before I get to 1996. But I'm taking my time because I want to remember this time. I don't feel okay yet. I'm still shaken very much. And that device doesn't look quite like that, but it's close. And I've drawn that device. I've drawn that device. And I just saw it in the movie today. So, I need to remember. I really do need to remember what happened. But it's, I just gotta get past the fear. I'm forgetting, again, skipping over one of the largest points of, they have the crown of Ariadne in it. The thing that I called the crown of Ariadne that was used to cause my activation in 2000. In 2000, I talk about 2001. I think that's what it is. I talk about the crown of Ariadne. And it's very close to what I saw in Disclosure Day. So that was a very lucky guess for me to decide. I just, either what I experienced was real, or I'm a very lucky guesser. There's a part of me that wants to record everything, and there's a part of me that says that I should stop and enjoy it. I don't know, I can't enjoy this fucking moment, but I wanted to get this on camera. So my body is shutting down right now because the temperature in the apartment has dropped 2 degrees. So I turned the heat off this morning because it's a warm day and the sun is nice. And if I sit in the window, I can feel the warmth of the sun on me. It's a warm day. Turn the heat off and open the window. The temperature dropped from 77 to 75, and I didn't realize at first what was happening, but I was like, what is happening to my body? I'm shaking, I can't think straight, I've been wandering in circles, and it's my entire body going into, it feels like hyperthermia because the temperature dropped by 2 degrees. Again, it's 75 degrees, but I can feel like my cognitive ability is, I can feel like my mind is going because the temperature dropped 2 degrees, and it's very frustrating, and I can't allow myself to get frustrated because if I get frustrated, my body will shut down even more. I hate this disease. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I was having another thought during meditation about something I want in alien brain fog. This whole, the more I think about, people want there to be an Illuminati. They like that idea more than the reality, because it's comforting to know that there's someone out there that knows what the fuck they're doing. It's someone that all of this chaos is planned. That is so much more comforting than no one knows what the fuck is going on. And there is no order. I think that's what we know from science. Like science, chaos theory shows us that the difference between entropy and, I read a quote that growth is just entropy well directed, and cancer cells and growth cells, I mean, it's what is growth and what is cancer is perception, isn't it? Like, I need to work on that thought process because I'm not quite there yet. But the entire world is in chaos and order is an illusion. Order is temporary. And we've lost it. The center cannot hold. The center cannot hold. Everything is changing all the time. Incrementally. It's not incrementally. That's the wrong word. Everything is changing all the time. Marginally. Unit at a time. Now in economics they say marginal this, marginal growth, the growth of just one more thing happens. If just, and I think that's the difference between like, maybe like the capitalist view of the world and like real world. Like in economics, you always look at one variable at a time. If you change this variable, you assume that no other variable will be affected. And we know that's not true. Like it's random. In in economics, you're talking about what is the marginal benefit of adding one more worker. So if you add one more worker to your staff, how much extra benefit do you get from just that one more worker? Marginal benefit. And I think we think of the world that way. We think of we forget to say if we hire that one worker, like that one worker is more productive. Yeah, maybe, but what about everyone else? Like, not just the productivity, because again, the world is not just about productivity. What are their home lives like? How are they teaching their children? We keep treating these little individual things like they're in a vacuum, and they're all related. I think maybe that's the topic I gotta get to. I'm gonna have to come up with a way, I'm dealing with 3 topics, right? Always fucking 3s. I always find myself doing things in 3s. So it's one of my OCD traits is I always have 3. I don't know, maybe it's not OCD. I always saw this as an OCD trait. I will have 3 drinks going at all times. The number 3 has always been something for me. I've always got 3 projects going on at the same time. And I do right now. I've got 2 movies that I'm working on, right? 2 film projects and an album. I always have 3 projects going on. And, is that because I believed I was abducted by aliens? Like that in my memories, if they are memories, aliens always show up in 3, and maybe my self-conscious is always telling me something about 3. Is I don't know why the number 3 is so important to me. If you ask me, why do you have 3 drinks all the time? I have no idea. But I know when it happens, when I realize that I have 3 drinks, that is a sign for me to say, my body is telling me that I have become deregulated and I need to calm the fuck down. Of like Devil's Mountain, I can do that. That's, the more I look at that, it's going to be fun. I'm gonna have so much fun making that, and it's not something the whole concept is just like a throwaway thing. It's just for fun, so that I'm not emotionally connected to it. I can treat it like a film school, and that way when I am emotionally connected to it, which I'm lying because I'm already emotionally connected to it, but I'm hoping it'll be fun. I'm hoping other people will look at it and have fun, and that's all I want from that. And then I'm hoping with alien brain fog that maybe I teach some people some things. It's going to be a lot of work, but that I have an emotional connection to. That's something I don't want to fuck that up. So I want Devil's Mountain, my test run, just to get it, soundtracks and stuff like that. That's going to be so much fun. It's going to be working on the soundtrack for that is going to be a blast, because the whole thing about music, I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm getting excited about it. But I have to actually film it first. I have to write it first. So I have to begin with the end in mind. And I'm looking forward to scoring it and releasing it to people. People saying, you know what, that's not bad, Joe. If I get that, if I get anyone to say, you know what, that's actually not bad, Joe, I'll take that as well. If I can get it streaming on, I mean, I've seen some of the shit that's streaming on Prime. I can probably get it on there. I'm thinking I'm also catching something on camera where I have a habit of depersonalizing. I think that's what this is. That's what you see it all the time in horror movies where someone's talking to the camera so that they don't have to deal with their actual life. And I've always thought that doesn't make sense, but I've been living my life that way. I've been living events thinking, how can I record this? So like when I just had a moment where I'm like, my body shut down because the temperature dropped by 2 degrees and my trauma response was record it and turn it into art. Record it for, I don't know, scientific value. Maybe that's it. My trauma response is use it. That helps me not stay in my body though. And you can probably see on camera that I can see that my demeanor has changed a little bit, and it's because I'm sitting in the sun and my body has warmed up, and it is so fucking frustrating. I don't know if it's like, am I cold-blooded now? Do I ever? That's a fun conspiracy. Maybe COVID was invented by the reptilians to make us more reptilian. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have been home too long. When I lost my job at Everest, it was my dream job, and I really wanted that to be the job that I had for the rest of my life, teaching. Teaching was the most rewarding thing in my entire life. I mean, the pay was fine. I didn't make amazing money, $26 an hour. And I was okay with that. Like, I made $26 an hour, and I taught. People thanked me for the work I did. They said that the work I did changed their lives and helped them raise their children differently. It was the most rewarding job in the world, and it closed because people were idiots with money. Like, it's the problem when you're involving money in education. It's like, education shouldn't be about money. It's just, I think that's a lesson. That's why I probably should try to educate for as free as much as possible. I think, if nothing else, the last couple of years have shown us that people need more education, and that education is not working. Like, we can blame all the different, if you underpay teachers, like they do, I know, I've heard what they make in the United States, so they pay teachers very differently in Canada, very differently. Maybe I should have been a teacher. You know, at the time I graduated university, it was really difficult to get into teachers college. Like, you needed an A+ average plus community service, and all I had at that time was an A- average, which I was still happy with. I thought, I've done pretty well because I got an A- average while working a full-time job and working I did volunteer work, I worked for the Gay Pride organization in Windsor. The last 2 years I was in university. I was the chair of the local branch. The university had a gay lesbian support group. And I was on that as well. So I was working full-time hours, 40 hours a week plus, to put myself through university, doing charity, doing volunteer work, and had an A- average. And I was okay with that. I thought, you know what, I've done okay. And I immediately left university and went directly into a career in sales. I just landed there. I went to London, followed a pretty boy that I was in love with, and got a job in telemarketing almost immediately. And I was good at it. And I realized it's because you're just reading a script, right? And it's like, I can read a script, I can memorize scripts, they were fun. You're pretending, you're acting, and you're having fun with, I got to talk to people every day. It was like, I had fun. And I had a good life, and they trained me so well in that job because I landed in this random telemarketing job. I ended up taking a course that changed the course of my life. I've talked about it before. I just found I just found the I think that was probably an ADHD moment, right? Damn. Anyway, I took a course, went to Texas, took a course with, I remember there was a couple people from NASA there, rocket scientists. There was a really cute boy that was going to Hollywood to become an actor. His name was Finn. I don't remember his last name. And I remember Finn and I bonded over Julia Cameron because we both had read The Artist's Way, and we were talking about that one day. Anyway, what I learned was just a 3 or 4 day course, but I learned things that people like me don't normally get taught. Because I was a kid from the ghetto, and I learned etiquette, I learned how to meditate, I learned all the things that they teach you if you come from the right family. Like, if you come from the right family, you learn how to succeed in life. Because there are secrets. And there's the book The Secret, and I made it a little bit more, how can I say this as nicely as possible? Because I love The Secret. I think it was just a little too airy-fairy for some people, even though there's nothing remotely airy-fairy about The Secret. It's literally, The Secret is what they used to teach as magic. Like, it was what the secret organizations did, and if you revealed the secret, there was consequences. It was a big thing. There's nothing airy-fairy about it at all. But the whole idea is the entire system is made up. Everything is made up. If you want something, go for it. You decide what you want and just focus on it. The chant of the goddess, keep pure your highest ideal and let nothing throw you, Jesus. Keep pure your highest ideal and let nothing throw you aside. Something like that. I can't remember it offhand. That's what magic is. It's just you make a decision, stay focused on it, and it's probably going to happen. Magic. It's all about changing your mindset. And I know that I wish magic was like Harry Potter, where you could just wave your magic wand. And yes, I did just happen to have a magic wand lying around. But if magic was just like Harry Potter, that would be so much better, because I could just say, like, Wingardium, give me my fucking job back. But that is not how magic works. the way that I understand magic is it's utilizing the placebo effect. You know, in science, we understand the idea that they have this concept of the placebo effect, that sometimes, for reasons we do not quite yet understand, if people are given a sugar pill, it will have the same biological effect as if they're given actual medication. This is, I remember talking with a chemistry student named Dan last summer about the part of the problem with antidepressants is that the placebo effect is unusually high, which means many times if people just take a pill and believe it's going to make them better, they will get better. And that's just fucking annoying. I mean, isn't it? Like, it's annoying because, like, if you're a scientist, that is the last thing that you want to see. You want to see as a scientist, like, if I give you this medication, it will fix you, and if I give you this, it won't. But sometimes, for reasons we do not yet understand, sugar pills sometimes work. Which is why sometimes, if you do yoga and meditate, maybe you might get better. It's magic. We don't know why. And that annoys me. Doesn't it know? It's annoying. I think it annoys me because I have no control over it then. I like science. So if I have a choice between taking a medication for something or waving a magic wand, I'm going to try science first because I know that's going to work. Now, sometimes science and magic are related. You know, when they used to say, there's tons of examples of this. You know, willow bark. I think if you look at, I'm going to have to do some research on how aspirin was invented. Or you can do the examples of DMT. I mean, it came from a plant used in magical ceremonies, and they took the magic and turned it into science. And I think maybe that's the best way to spin this, is that the main difference between science and magic is that science is like, it's kind of better than magic in many ways because it's repeatable. I mean, anyone can do it. You know, not everyone can do magic. Not everyone is going to be able to do magic, but everyone can do science. And that's why science is better. And I'm saying that as a witch. You know, there are, however, many, many things that our current science can't fix. Like right now, our current science can't fix long COVID. It's working on it, and as soon as it fixes it, I will promise you I will stop doing magic about it and go right back to science. And I mean, we saw this on the show Yellow Jackets. It's like when people feel like they've lost control, they say, well, I might as well go back to it. And maybe we should not wait to the last minute because sometimes magic does work. I mean, there have been so many cases where people with severe mental illness went to have an exorcism and it worked. Their mental illness went away. Now, does that mean that they were possessed? I think there's Now, I'm saying this is someone that believes that possession can happen because I've had enough experiences that I can't rate them off. So yeah, it's possible that they were possessed by a demon. That's possible. It's also possible that they just believed they were possessed by a demon. And once they believed they were exorcised, they no longer believed they were possessed by a demon. And you know what? At some point, what some doctors will say at that point is like, does it matter? Does it matter if they're cured? Like, can we just you know what? I know this is really stupid, but let's just try it. So maybe we shouldn't wait to the last minute for certain things. Maybe we can try a little bit of magic at the same time we're trying science. And I know that that's probably going to make, that statement will make everyone a little angry, but it's one thing that I learned in learning magic, real magic. They teach you is use magic, yes, but if there's an easier way to do it, then do it. So if you're looking for the love of your life and you want, let's go to a magic spell, it's like, well, that's one option. But instead of jumping to magic spell, why don't you work on yourself and figure out what the hell you want in life first? Do that, and then love spell. But people don't want to do that because it's like, oh, that means that's work. Yeah. Yep. It is work, and yeah, you got to do it. And the thing about love spells is they're the way that real love spells are supposed to work in magic. It's exactly the same as the power of positive thinking. Like if you bought a book on like creative visualization, Jesus, I shocked to go into a book called Creative Visualization. They're just magic spells. It's exactly the same thing. And then it was, and a big thank you to Shakti Gawain. Jeez, again, my entire life would be different without that book. But just understanding the way that visualization works, and it was been used for negative reasons, which let's call it that's black magic. So if you're using creative visualization to do evil things, that's black magic. I mean, it's a different name for the same thing. It's just semantics. Logistics, timelines, I need to figure out dates. Oh, that's what I need to do today, because again, mixing science and magic. What I will be doing today is looking at astrology. It's how I've released all my books, how I set my marriage. I've done everything for better. Part of the reason is, here's my logic behind it. When you're setting deadlines for yourself, it's all made up. Like you can set any date you want, right? Like if you are your own creative boss, you can set any date in the world that you want for your projects. So why not pick a date that might be better? And I can look at, if astrology says this is a bad day to release a book, it's like, well, I could release it that day anyway, or, since I'm making a choice and I'm just making stuff up, let's take a chance on that. It's, I don't know. Astrology is one of those things that I don't want it to be real, because it shouldn't be, right? Astrology should not be real. It does not make any logical sense that the placement of stars in the heavens has any effect on what I do with my life. That does not make any logical sense, and I do not see any connection between them. I did thought experiments where I'm like, well, maybe it's micro forces of gravity on embryos. That's how far I tried to go for thought experiments. Like, could that have an effect? Or is it just possible that if, maybe there's a possibility that every sperm created at a certain point in the year has certain characteristics? Like, I don't know. Is there variations in sperm count depending on year? Or maybe it's, the thing is, like, we can't discount astrology completely, because Geminis have certain characteristics, whether we want to admit it or not. Like, once you know what a Gemini is like, you know what Geminis are like. Scorpios, once you know what a Scorpio is like, you know what Scorpios are like. You can spot them. But is that biological? Or is it just because Scorpios have been told their whole life what Scorpios are supposed to be like, so they just act like Scorpios? Like, I'm a Libra, so am I indecisive because people have said I'm indecisive? I mean, I don't think I'm really indecisive. What I think I am, and unfortunately, I do think I am very much like a Libra, because I do wait until I have all the information I need, and then once I have all that information, I make a decision, and it's done. And I think what science does is like, oh no, astrology's not real. Well, okay, you could say it's not real, but evidence. Okay, the evidence says there's something there. Is it sociological? And I think that could be true. That's maybe we just, children that are brought up, if you're born in the winter, maybe you have different character traits. If you're born, in the summer, maybe you have different character traits, because your families are doing different things at that time of year. They because of activities at that time of year, you're raised differently. Maybe if you're born in colder months, you just need more hugging, and if you don't get it, then you feel worse. But if you're born in the summer and you're not hugged as much, you don't care, because you're not as like, maybe it's something as simple as that. Or maybe the world is a hologram and everything is completely illusion, and everything around us is a fractal. Because human beings see time, and time doesn't exist. We are creating structures that don't exist in our mind. Like everything we see is, it's not real. It literally, like when I kept hearing the sound, it's like it's a hologram. It's like, what does that mean? It means that all I am is a series of sensory organs, and I am receiving data from the outside world and turning it into a picture in my head. And that mushy stuff up there. And the way I'm seeing the world has changed because my body has changed. And I'm very aware of that. And I think most people aren't. I mean, I wasn't aware of it beforehand. I wasn't really aware that my body was constructing my view of reality. But I see it now because I've watched myself get crazy sometimes and had to pull back from it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in my mind? Like, a little while ago, I had visions. I was meditating and had a full-on fucking vision of humans flying through the air like bullets. I don't know if it was like rockets, or it kind of looked like men in, like kind of like Iron Man, but men in like military uniforms, all in black, shooting through the air and downwards. And all I could think is like, is that a vision of bombs? I was just like, I've stopped trying to make connections, because sometimes I just hear like flashes in my head, and I don't know what they mean. That didn't happen before. And the thing I'm grateful for is I'm aware of it now. I'm more aware of my brain doing crazy stuff. But 2 years ago I wasn't. 2 years ago I was just stuck in my head, because I don't think my sensory organs were working properly. And maybe that's part of what it is. It's just some people talk about the sense of taste. A lot of people talk about losing the sense of taste. I think I just lost different senses. Although my boyfriend will tell you that I've definitely lost taste because I can't cook anymore. And it's really annoying, but I'm just not a good cook anymore. I think I did lose a bit of taste. But I think I've lost other senses. Time. My perception of time is completely skewed now. My perception of space is different. I can't feel, like I have peripheral neuropathy, so I can't feel my body. If I close my eyes, I can't tell you. Right now is not too bad, because I can't feel my legs. Like I can walk. So when I say you can't feel my legs, it's not that. I have full use of my limbs. I just can't feel them. And you know, like, that was one of my biggest fears in life. I'd heard about people that, you know, you've probably heard about people that they can ding their arm and like they don't feel it. And I thought, you might think, oh, that's great, you don't feel pain? You don't feel pain, but you still have the mark. I did that the other day. I was walking around the corner, banged my arm against the a glass cabinet. I banged it, got a scab, like, felt nothing. It's not the superpower I wished it was. Again, 2001 would have been 15 years ago. Okay, calmly. In the film, there are two experiencers. One experienced something in they both experienced something in 1996. And again, I have experiences in 1996 with Tom. One of the experiences is activated just before disclosure day. The lady. The man was activated 15 years ago, which would have been 2001 when I saw the crown of Ariadne. So I think the timelines in the movie are correct.